Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing great and taking care of yourself. Before we start with today's video, I would like to wish all my viewers a very happy and prosperous Diwali. In our previous video, we have gone through how to change the admin password and how to integrate the GitHub with Jenkins, and the most important, using the GitHub webhook to make your build run without using the poll SCM or build periodically tools. I hope that video gave you an insight of how to use these components. In today's video, we are going to talk about something called as variables, which are used by Jenkins. So without any delay, let's get started. So here are some of the inbuilt or environmental variables used by Jenkins. How can you access this? You need to use the Jenkins URL /environment-was.html. We are going to go through all these variables in today's session. So let's get started. So why are these environment variables used, right? That's an important question. So environment variables are nothing but a global key value pairs which Jenkins can use into the project. And that's why these are the variables which are available for you to use in your Jenkins project, right? And how can you access that? Which I have already shown you. So Jenkins URL, the local host on which Jenkins is running, and the environment-was.html. So now let's go to our dashboard. And here we are going to basically click on the new item and use the freestyle project to demonstrate these variables. So let's click on this, right? Demo environmental variables. Okay, and let me just correct the spelling. Click OK. Now, the moment I click OK, you know what's going to happen. It opens the journal page, and that's what we have gone through. Now, let's scroll down. Okay, let me just take add timestamp. That's it. Build steps. Let's write the execute shell. And now we are going to basically type all these variables which we need, right? So let's type that echo branch name. And how are you going to access that? Since I'm running the Jenkins on Linux, I'm going to use the shell scripting with a $sign. And since these are very sensitive, I just want to make sure that the names are used correctly. So now let's type another important variable. If you see the branch name, then you have change URL, change author. Let's not go into that. Let's directly go here, something called as a job display URL. Okay, and that's what I'm going to use here. Okay, I'm also going to use something called as build number, right? That's what is needed for us, right? Normally when you are debugging the Jenkins build, right, say your build got failed or there was some dependency of the job which was used to run once the previous build has got successful, and you don't know what build it was dependent or what build number was that, right? That's where you use this build number. And you also can use the build ID to get an idea of it. Let's put here, let's add the build display name as well, echo display. This is here. Let's write another variable called as job name. Okay, I'm accessing it. And the most important what is the node name, whether it's running on the master node, whether it's running on the slave. That's where you can get it, the information, right? You can also write the workspace. Okay, let's use that quickly. Then let's use our favorite Jenkins home and Jenkins URL, right? That's the main thing. URL, and if you are using the git branch, you can use the git branch variable, git local branch, checkout directory, git URL, which remember when you're doing the integration of GitHub with the Jenkins, at that time you can print git URL in your build to just to know which git repository you're using, what is your local branch, what is the branch, what is the checkout directory, and then the author name and couple of other things. But to demonstrate today's video, I'm just going to use few of these, and then I'm just going to click here save. The moment I click here save, now let's go and click on our build now, and that's what I'm going to do here, right? And let's quickly go to our console output and see what it is printing, right? If you see, it has printed what we wanted, right? The branch name. As of now, there is no branch name because I'm not using in the git, right? So it's empty, right? Job display URL. So it gave me the Jenkins job, which we named as demo environmental variables, right? And what is the build which you see here? It's the build one. What is the build number? What is the build ID? One. What is the name of that build? One. What is the job name? Demo environmental variables, right? What is the node? Node name, it's a built-in, since we are just executing on the master, that's why it just um, uh, what is the workspace? This is the workspace. What is the Jenkins home? What is the Jenkins URL? And that's how we got couple of uh, um, environmental variables usage, as how can we use that in our project, right? That's what was my main motto, to show you how can we use the environmental variables in our Jenkins project. Now let's go back and let's use something called as the pipeline script, which will give you all these details in one shot, rather than writing all these like eco build number and couple of other things. Let's go back to our dashboard, click on new item, and then I'm going to select something called as a pipeline, and I'm going to write here demo environmental variables dash pipeline. Now let me click OK, and I am here. Okay, now all I need to do is scroll down, and there is something called as a pipeline script, right? And I'm going to basically click here, try a sample or the scripted pipeline, right? This is okay. Let me write the simple one, pipeline script. No, we do not need this. We just need a simple hello world pipeline. Okay, pipeline here, and I'm going to write here something called has stage. Okay, so in the pipeline script, you have something called as a stages, where you need to define what that stage is supposed to do. And then in that stage, there is something called as a steps, right? So that's how the pipeline works, right? And then you see here something called as an agent ini. That means it runs on a master agent or slave agent, whatever agent you want it to run. Say tomorrow you have a master slave architecture, which I'm going to explain you in my upcoming videos. At that time, you can write that I want my pipeline script to run on node 1 instead of master, right? I want my pipeline script to run on node 2, right? And that's where you define lots of slaves and the master, leaving that master is not hampered with the performance, lots of tasks not running on master. It is equally distributed between the master and the slave, right? That's where this master slave architecture comes into the picture. So now let's give this stage name as environmental variables. And what step is it? I'm just going to write something called as back and set. Okay, let me, okay, once I'm done with this, I'm just going to click save here, right? And now I'm going to run our build now. So now when I click here, let's go and see our console output. And okay, it is getting failed. Let me see. The batch scripts can only run. Okay, got it. Remember what I did? I typed has bat, but I am running on the Unix server. So let me do that quickly. Okay, so let's go down and I'm going to write here sh print env, and that's what, right? Because we are using something called has shell script, right? And now I'm going to save it and let's run it and see what happens. Okay, let's go here. It has gone to success and now it prints everything for me, right? Doesn't that seems to be quite interesting without even typing each and every environmental variable? You can directly use the pipeline script, which will print all the environmental variables for you. So it prints what is the shell, what is the name, what is the stage name, which remember we have written, build tag, what are the artifacts, what's the build number, what is the notify socket, node labels, then it gives build number, job, and everything, right? That's the best thing, right, of using the pipeline script. I hope you got an understanding of how to use different environmental variables in your project. Don't go away. We are going to touch something called as a global variables. So let's get started with that. So to use the global variable, all you need to do is click on Manage Jenkins, and then you go to a Configure System. So now, when you come down, okay, you see something called as a global properties. That's where you define your global variables used in your project. So there would be a scenario where you want to use a variable across all the builds, and that's where you define a global variable, and that can be stay into the one project. Tomorrow there are like I want 3-4 global variables to be used in my project, and that's where I define my environmental variable, or I call it as a global environment variable, because that's the global properties. So let's now add something called as um, let us add called as message. Okay, and I will type here the value welcome to global variable 10. Okay, and now I'm going to basically click here save. Okay, let's go to the new item freestyle project. Okay, and I'm going to write here global. Okay, and all I'm going to do here is click here, copy. Okay, I'm going to go here at timestamp, which is my favorite shell. Okay, and I'm going to write here message. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, and now let's click on build. Okay, let's go to our favorite console output, and you see here what happened. Okay, I don't see why it is not printing, right? Let me go back and see what I have done. Is there any mistake in these? Okay, it's a small case letter and I am using a big case letter, so I need to be very cautious. I'll go here into the global variable and then I'm going to type here message. Make sure your variable name is used whatever you have defined in the global properties while using a execute shell, or wherever you're using that variable it should be same as what you have defined in the global properties of environmental variable, right? So let's click here save, build now, and now we should see our variable getting populated. Yes, and we got it, right? That's how you can use the global variables in your builds. I hope you got an understanding of how to use this, right? Similarly, if I want to basically use this global variable in the pipeline stuff, what I can do is let me go back to our pipeline project, right? And I'm only going to go here, configure it, go down, and I'm going to write here in the steps echo dollar, remember message. Okay, and I'm going to click here this, let me build now and see what happens, right? Let's go here, go to our console output, and you see that environment variable has been printed here. That's how you can use the environment variables in your build, either in a pipeline script or a uh, simple script, right? And that's it is, right there. I hope you got an understanding of how to use the environmental variable versus the global environmental variable. If you have liked this video, kindly do share this video with your friends or colleagues who are getting started their career in the DevOps and trying to learn Jenkins. Also, don't go before you like or subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the upcoming video, we are going to basically learn something called as the master slave architecture, and many more to come, like our first Maven project, how to use the blue green deployment, and couple of other things. So until then, take care, bye bye, and once again wish you a very happy prosperous Diwali.